Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with a review for the Never Ever Met, whatever episode it is. I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing well. Thank you so much for your patience. I was intending to do last week's episode. I should have. Baby, while I had guest host, we should have done that episode, but we was having a time. And when I got back, I was extremely tired. I slept all day. So, child, by Tuesday, I was over it. But I did watch the show, and I can pretty much sum it up like this. Chris and his homeboy are the same person. I don't know why Chris is trying to sit there and act like, oh, I don't agree with nothing he's talking about. You not finna be that cool with somebody and not agree with nothing at all that they're talking about. But those two are gonna deal with each other, so I don't really want to keep wasting too much energy on them. Shay and Josh, do I believe something happened? I don't. If something looks suspicious, but I think Josh might be, at best, he might be a little sneaky, but I don't think anything actually happened between the two of them. But I actually have an unpopular opinion that I'm going to talk about when I get into this review. What else happened last week that was of importance? Millie and Greg. Millie, I'm peeping that you're a little insensitive towards other people's issues, but you want people to be sensitive towards yours. You're going to have to work on that. It can't be all about you, especially if you want to be in a relationship. If you want it to be all about you, then you got to stay single. That's why I'm single, because I want it to be all about me, baby. So you're going to have to do that. What else? But I still got my cat eye on Greg. It's something about Greg. Oh, and lastly, Jodie, be honest with Aaron. He really is trying. And I think if you are honest with him now, instead of like completely shattering his heart, it will do him some good. It'll be the right type of rejection. So he'll know it's not really me. It's just that sometimes you and a person are not compatible. Like y'all just don't have no chemistry. It's just not working. But all of that stuff would work well, Aaron, if it was a woman that actually liked you. So that's pretty much what I got to say about the last episode. I probably missed something. But let's get into this week's episode. Okay, so Josh and Shay are having a conversation about the big reveal, what happened with him and Alexis, and if it's really true. They pretty much get it to the point where Josh says, I would not lie to you. I would not have you looking like this. I would never play you like that. We've been bragging that we the best couple. So let's talk about that first. Why y'all been doing that? Who told y'all that? I want to know who informed y'all that y'all was the best couple in the house. Y'all have dealt with each other the longest, and y'all had the hottest honeymoon period, but that does not mean that y'all the most stable or the best couple in the house. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that y'all had the least amount of drama going on at the time. But one thing about them tables, what I tell y'all, they always turn. So now it's y'all's turn. I will say this, though. Nobody on this show needs to be bragging about their relationship. That's first and foremost, because all of y'all got your own share of little toxicity, little dysfunction. Everybody got a little sprinkle going on, which is why when I'm in a relationship, child, I be trying not to talk about nobody, because I don't want them tables to turn on me, really, just in general. So that's one thing. Number two, to sit there and say that you would never lie to her, or you would never try to play her or make her look stupid, you already did that when you had that baby. And I know y'all are over it, and y'all done got past it. But we just found out this information. So, no, you would make her look stupid. That is something that you would do. I will say, when they played back the tapes, I ain't gonna say it looked like absolutely nothing was going on. So I would still keep my eye on the situation. But the interesting thing about Shay is 30 now. They've been dealing with each other for 12 years, which means they were dealing with each other when she was still a teenager. And I kind of wonder if she still has that love conquers all mentality, right? I had that same mentality when I was her age, not 30, when I was a teen. Little story time real quick. But I found out my boyfriend had gotten somebody pregnant while I was at school. And my mom, God bless her. God bless my mama, but my mama was a pick-me, y'all. She was, okay? I wouldn't tell her that to her face, but she was. And a similar situation had happened to her with my daddy. Me and my brother, we like ghetto twins, okay? Except for my mama hadn't gone off to school. My daddy did that right there in the county. And so in her mind, she felt like if you really love somebody, try to work it out. And that's what she had advised me to do. In the end, we did not work out, and I'm glad we didn't. But at the time, I did. I was going to be accepting of the situation. Once I got, unmad about it or whatever, I still stayed my ass in school because I ain't no fool now. I did not come home. But eventually, we were on two separate goes, like, eventually it just fizzled out, right? Eventually. But I kind of wonder if Shay has that mentality, like still has that teen mentality, like we can always work this thing out, baby, come what may. It's me and Josh forever. I just want her to be careful. It's been 12 years. He did not bother to come see you, but he did bother to procreate with a roommate at that. That wasn't even his woman. So he says it was somebody he was living with, and he decided to smash Raw. Now, granted, this was some years ago, but still, those are not good decisions. Those are not good decisions. And so you want him to have a track record of making those good decisions. Like, what's his stability like now? Doesn't he have more than one child? More than just that one? There's just a lot of things that I want Shay to look at, and that love does not, unfortunately, conquer everything. It just doesn't. But she gonna roll with her man. So they give each other a hug, and they decide to get past it, right? Later on, we see Josh talking to Greg about the situation. Y'all know Greg, he gonna roll with the bros, you know. He gonna say, as long as y'all can work it out, as long as y'all can figure it out together, that's cool. They finna go get these matching tattoos. I 100% do not recommend that. Don't get nobody named. Well, maybe they not doing names. They might not be doing names. But they are going to get matching tattoos, so... Child, I guess. I don't advise going the tattoo route. And I done had many a friend do it, and it always end up getting lasered away later. Okay, now this gonna sound like a read, but it's not a read. This is the unpopular opinion I was talking about. Diamond, and even though you didn't have to do anything to do with this particular situation, Big Aaron, not the little one, I'm tired of y'all. I am so tired, and I've been tired of y'all for a long time, since you came in there and was trying to be everybody's wet, smooth-ass auntie and uncle and counselor. Stop telling others, stop. Stay out of other couples' business. Y'all got enough going on yourself. Hurricane Irene came in there and laid everybody out, and y'all had nothing to say. She read y'all for y'all rights, and your raggedy children too. And y'all really didn't have nothing to say to Irene, but y'all keep getting in everybody's situation, and y'all need to stop it. It don't really have nothing to do with you. It don't concern you. Alexis telling Diamond that, I do think it was messy, because she had all this time to tell her. But the fact that Diamond is on the phone, let's remove Alexis from the equation. Remove everybody from the equation. And I want us to take a look at Diamond. Big Aaron, I think I already done read you, but I'll probably do it again before the season is over. Let's take a look at Diamond real quick. What did Diamond come in the house saying? I almost want to insert a clip. Go back and watch that first episode. Diamond came in the house saying, I was wondering where the men were, because I don't really deal with females like that. It's a whole lot of drama. Remember that, Diamond? And remember that I said I don't trust women who say stuff like that, because usually the drama is them. You proved me right. You proved me right. You done got in Millie and Greg business a little bit. You done got in Shay and Josh business. You done got in Aaron and Jodie business. You done got in Chris and Sandia business. The only person business you didn't get in was Irene's. Because that's somebody you could have checked. But you didn't check her. You was real soft-voiced it with Irene. And you real soft-voiced it with Big Aaron, not the little one. But when it comes to getting everybody business, you feel like women should stick together because men gonna be men. Well, if that's your thought process, why did you come in the house talking about other women like they was gonna be the problem? And the only real problem in this house, as far as doing a lot of conversationing, that's not a word, is you. You have been the biggest problem, and the oldest at that. You give a lot of women a bad name, especially older women, because I done heard about y'all in the workplace. I done heard about how y'all handle yourself sometimes in the workplace, and don't nobody want to be dealing with that. For every older woman I know who mind her business, who do her work and go home, you give them a bad name. Because you want to run around talking about everybody else under the guise of sisterhood. There's no sisterhood with you. You already made your point clear when you came in the house that you don't deal with women like that. And the reason why your female relationships have probably failed is because you are the messy one under the guise of concern. I don't have time for this, Diamond, and I didn't appreciate it. Mind you and Big Aaron's business, and that woman who he proposed to that told him, hell no, never mind. And now he's picking you. Those are the concerns you need to have. All right, so I just said the couples need to stay out of each other's business, but the show isn't going to make it possible because they're about to play a game of questions where they're going to get into everybody's business. The name of the game is called Hot Seat, where each couple is going to sit down on the couch and get into the proverbial hot seat. If you do not like their answer, you can ask some follow-up questions. You can bring the heat, if you will. Now, I personally think this game is a bad idea, but I was pleased with some things that happened during the game. But I do think overall these group activities, are a little tone deaf. If they're not about sex, they're about the couples getting in each other's business. And I just don't think it's conducive to their relationships or the show. Even the experts that they have brought around to talk to them one-on-one, I don't even know, like the lady that's talking at the end of the episode to each couple, I don't even know if I'm really feeling her. Like, I don't know. I just feel like no disrespect to that lady. I'm sure she's very great at her job. I just think they need something else for this particular show. They need somebody living in the house, almost like a house mom or a house dad. Kind of how like VH1 does their couples goals channel with the celebrities. Something like that needs to happen where somebody is always kind of around. But I hope they listen to some of the suggestions about the show if they decide to do it next season. But the first couple that's going to be in the hot seat is little Aaron, not the big one, and Jodie. Now, I already knew how this was going to go. I don't even know why they got to be in the hot seat because everybody done said how they feel about the two of them. But they get into the hot seat. Somebody asks, do they see themselves short-term or long-term? Little Aaron says he sees himself long-term with Jodie. He gives like a long answer, but basically long-term. Jodie says she sees herself term. Jodie, what you're doing to little Aaron is getting borderline mean. You need to stop this because you know you don't want this boy. So then there's some follow-up questions where they ask, how do they see themselves in the future? Little Aaron says he sees them traveling the world and owning several businesses, which Jodie is down for, and so am I. Somebody asked, do they want to get married? Now, this is where it comes out that they would be getting married only if it made sense. They don't believe in getting married for love. Jodie is actually the one saying this because marriage is just a business contract. You know, we wouldn't be getting married just because we were in love with each other and we both share that ideal. Little Aaron said he was surprised to meet a woman who thought that way. And Greg says he believes that little Aaron is going to agree to whatever Jodie says. It doesn't matter if he actually has thought it or not. He's going to agree to it, which I kind of see Greg's point there. It wouldn't surprise me if both of them, though, had these thoughts. I've had these thoughts with several people. I actually am more along the lines of marriage is a business contract. Here come Big Aaron. Absolutely not. Marriage is not a contract. You don't marry just for business. They do that overseas. Actually, Aaron, Big Aaron, not the little one. I don't know why anybody would be taking any opinions about marriage from you. You can't even get a woman to stay engaged to you. That lady said no. So I don't think we're going to be taking any advice from you. But if you really think about it, marriage is very much a contract. And the same type of vetting that you have to do to find a good business partner, you do that same thing when you're dating and when you decide to get married. And if you're not doing it and you just letting your emotions take you away and you just marrying because you in love, you will find yourself having some issues with all that love a couple years down the road. But all the things that it takes to make a business decision, investigating the risk, having good communication, analyzing the issues. Do these issues align with, can we handle this? How do you handle risky business decisions? How do you handle when things go wrong? These are all things that you would do with a business partner or deciding if you want to go into a business. So I'm not really sure why we make it so detrimental. It's very much a contract. Now, whether or not you think, do you need to have some love there? Yes, I do believe you need to have some genuine feelings for that person. But I would wonder what overseas places Big Aaron is talking about, because I would want to see if their marriage rates are better than ours. Since we talking about that's what they do overseas, Big Aaron, not the little one. But we're going to move on. I believe that was mostly all of their hot seat questions. I think that was it. Those were like the main things anyway. So, but we already know how people feel about Aaron and Jodie, and it's true. It actually is true. She not feeling him. Next up, we have Shay and Josh, and Shay is like, come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. She want all the smoke for the hot seat. So her and Josh get up there, and Josh look like he want them to ask any other questions other than what they've been talking about for these last couple of days. So one of the first questions is, do you trust Josh? And Shay was like, let me look at you when I say this. Yes, I trust you. I said, baby, she got something to prove today. She gonna get it all off her chest. And baby, did she not? But hold on. Let's keep talking. So she said she trusts Josh wholeheartedly. Jodie asked a question, y'all had a little situation recently where there was, some issues of trust that have come up. And how did y'all handle that? How did you get through it? Shay just says they communicated, they went to sleep on it, and then they talked about it again, and that's how they made it through. Like, she knows that she can get very upset, but once she talked to him about it, I guess cooler heads prevailed, and they decided that they are going to make this a go. So Jodie was like, okay, so it was a positive. Cool. All right. Then someone asked about meeting the mother. I don't remember who asked the questions are kind of anonymous, but the question is, have you told your mother about Josh? Does your mom know? And Shay actually says her mother and her sister don't really know much about Josh because this is an internet relationship. And see, when she said that made me wonder, did they have an agreement? Like, not an agreement, but have they been off and on for 12 years? Because I think that Josh having that, I don't think they were together this whole entire 12 years. I kind of get the vibes that they dated other people, they slept with other people. That's why the baby thing, she not like too mad at, you know what I'm saying? I just get the vibes that they dated other people. But because she said, she made sure to say this is an internet relationship. You get what I'm saying? And so I don't bring that up to my family. I wouldn't either. And so, but I also wouldn't be in one for this long. So Diamond is in her confessionals, okay? Not saying it then, even though they in the hot seat. Diamond is in her confessional talking about, oh, well, why hasn't he met your mom yet? Do you feel like he's not good enough to meet your mom? Are you trying to keep him a secret for a reason? Are you ashamed of him? Well, Diamond, it looks like they're on the hot seat. So if it was any time for you to get in somebody's business, that was the time. But she chose to sit there and be quiet and lean into Big Aaron, not the little one. She had nothing to say. And Shay was looking like, I want somebody to say something to me. But didn't nobody say nothing to her. So their hot seat moment was over. But Josh said he ready to meet her mama whenever Shay is ready for him to meet her. All right, Chris and Sandia are next, and I know y'all want me to get up on my soapbox, but it's really not worth it. I might stand on it with one leg a little bit, but I'm getting right back off. I'm not putting 2 feet on the soapbox because it's not worth it. So I'm gonna tell y'all a little. I'll tell you in a minute. So Sandia and Chris are next, right? Sandia's body language is always funny to me, but I also think it's kind of cold outside as well. So they sit down and Sandia is already kind of like, they gonna come at us because of the way that Chris has spoken to me and they got their ideas about Chris or whatever. So one of the first questions was, how's your communication going? Sandia feels like it's gotten a lot better. He could do better, but it's gotten better. They asked Chris in what ways has he done better? And he's like, just trying to make more time for her, paying more attention to her, more phone calls. And Rashonda, I think that's her name, Shonda, was like, what is it that you do? Because you always acted like you don't got time. And he says that he's an entrepreneur and he has a lot of things on his plate. Millie, who nobody is talking to, this is why I'm tired of these group activities, gonna raise her hand and say, a man will always make time. A man will always make time. And for the most part, yes, that is true. I'm not disagreeing with Millie, but what I'm telling Millie to do is calm her ass down, because I had your back when Chris said that you might be attracted to him. But if I was Greg, I would start wondering why you get so heated up about this man. Now, I don't know if it's an attraction or if he reminds you of some men that you dealt with in the past or what, but you get very bothered anytime Chris says anything. All of the women get a little bit bothered, but Millie take it to another level. She take it to another level. And I'm going to tell y'all, ladies, ain't no need in getting upset about no man like Chris. Ain't no need in explaining nothing to no man like Chris. Was Rashonda, whatever her name is, speaking truth to power? Absolutely, she was. But it doesn't matter because the mind has to be open to receiving it. Chris's mind is not open to receiving it. Chris is a man who believes in very strict gender roles. He said he does not believe men and women can be equals because women are bad decision makers. Now, the woman he's sitting beside is a bad decision maker, so I can see why he might say that. And some of the other women sitting there are as well. However, I think he's coming from a place of, because men are more logical, women are more emotional, so their decisions are automatically going to be bad because they're emotion-based decisions. When, this is why I tell y'all, I have a problem with people who believe strictly in gender roles and they assign traits to the gender role, like roles and assignments, not really essence and energy to what a gender really is, or to what's masculine and what's feminine, because you need certain elements of both to walk your way through this life. The most successful people are the people who are balanced in both. So for you to say that you are more logical, you can't move with all logic. Every decision you make cannot be a logical one, or you won't be successful. You'll be successful in some things, but you won't be a well-rounded person. Just like a woman, if all of my decisions are emotional and there's not a little bit of logic in it, oh, it's going to be to my detriment. Absolutely. So you have to have the essence of both. But people who strictly only assign certain roles to gender, it's no getting to them. It's no talking to them about anything. They need to pick up a damn book. I've already given the book recommendations to y'all. I'm not going to repeat them again. Pick them up. I'm telling you, it will help you a lot. It really helped my mind a lot. But if the mind is not open to receiving it, there's no point in explaining it. So old girl did all of that procreation and we this and women have led this and women have done that. And I'm not saying she was wrong. I'm not saying she was wrong. But what did Chris say in the end? But if I didn't give you those things, then how was you going to be able to do it? You didn't give her nothing. Just like a lot of men didn't give you nothing. Chris, I'm tired of men who are not in a position of power speaking about what they can give somebody. You're not there. We're in a patriarchal system. The men in power give us everything. And unless you're providing jobs and resources to a group of people, you are not one of those men in a position of power. They have to give us the resources to get the business loan, the mortgage loan, not you. And you're not a part of a group that's in a position of power. So you really can't even be talking about what they give you. The only thing you can give is a couple dollars and some sperm. And that ain't hard to get. Matter of fact, if I open up this phone, it's at least 8 men in it that will drop off some sperm as long as they ain't got to nurture no children, which requires what? Some feminine energy. So even if you give sperm, if you don't have a balance of something so that you can nurture it and grow it, and be vulnerable with it, I'm calling it your dusty seeds, then guess what? You're not going to raise a successful child. That's why you need the balance of both. But I'm stepping up off that soapbox and I'm going here. Millie, I'm going back to you. Is something going on with you that you get so heated about this man? I don't know if he reminds you of somebody. I was going to tell y'all a little story, but we ain't got time. But okay, real short. I was in Philadelphia this weekend, you guys, and notoriously, I do not deal with Sagittarius men. Sorry to my Sagittarius men out there. They really, I'm a Virgo. They really, really like me. They do, because I think I just remind them of a certain type of woman they want, but they too fast for me. They too fiery for me. And I always end up falling only to be embarrassed. So it was this guy we met. He told us he was a Sagittarius, and I was instantly irritated because I was attracted to him. And you could tell I was irritated. And my friend was just like, cut it out. Like, what is your problem? Y'all, I was so irritated with myself because I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? No. And I could tell, like, that's why I'm seeing with Millie, she get too heated about Chris. And it just makes me wonder, do he remind you of men you've been attracted to in the past, girl? And is it pissing you off? Because you're going to have to take that up with yourself. Cut it out with Chris. Cut it out. Another thing, let me get back on the soapbox real quick. Isn't it amazing to y'all that there's some men who will say like, oh, women are more disciplined sexually and y'all shouldn't have a high body count. Y'all should be doing this. Y'all should be doing that. And oh, women just, it don't matter if you younger because you more emotionally mature. Y'all mature faster than us. But when it comes to decisions, we need to defer everything to y'all. Y'all trust us to raise children, to handle the stuff in the household, to keep your schedule and the kids. You trust us at a younger age to be more mature than you emotionally. But when it comes to decisions, please defer everything to me, the one who's not mature yet. That thing, it always baffles me. And not sexually disciplined, because you should be turning down dick, but don't expect me to turn down no coochie. Let's move on. All right, next up in the hot seat is Greg and Millie, and the first question out is how does one feel about Greg mentioning that he used to be a womanizer? Millie wasn't really okay with that. I am going to use what Greg said in my daily speeches in life, because Greg said, I'm a certain kind of man that has a certain proclivity and fondness to many different types of women. I said, Greg, that was good. I have a certain proclivity and fondness to many different types of women. Like, I can't help the hoes like me. That's what it sounded like. I can't help the hoes like me. So, but he said he not on that no more. He really is trying to settle in on the woman he wants, and he needs Millie to trust that. It's interesting to me that Millie was irritated by Chris. Oh, I forgot to mention this, saying that a woman has to show him that she's worthy of giving up time and all of this other stuff, because he was with a woman for 8 years and that was a waste of time because I guess they didn't, nothing came of the 8-year relationship. So it showed us a lot about Chris and why he has the hangups that he does. I do think he might need to do some personal healing, because it ain't Sandia the best you gonna get. It ain't too many women that's gonna tap dance and prove, only for you to be holding back, because it's never gonna be enough for them to prove to you that they can be trusted and that they're for the long haul. You always gonna be testing them because it's something inside of you. Now, Millie, it's surprising that you tried to call him on this 8-year situation when you too are holding back based on your past and things that you have been through. So Josh let her know, because she gonna tell Chris, well, why does somebody else have to be responsible for what another person did? Why does Greg have to be responsible for what another person did? And so Josh let her know, like, he's really a good dude. He really is about you. Everything that he talks about, everything that he does, and the guards you got up and the stuff you've been through is kind of holding y'all back. So I would like to invite you to, let this man in, basically. And Millie says that she knows she can do a little bit better. She also knows she needs to be a little bit more patient. She gets fired up and feels like she needs to defend herself. I guess she's trying to explain that outburst she keep having with Chris. But you ain't working hard enough to me, Millie. Not that I can see. Because you always got something to say, even if it don't apply to you. Even if it don't concern you, and you always loud. And Greg was like, well, that's what I'm here for. Let me absorb some of that from you. Like, you don't have to be tough. You don't have to fight. You don't have to be strong. That's what I'm around for. And so Millie was like, oh, yes, that's what I need. That's what I want. Somebody to grab me and tell me, listen, I'm tired of us wanting to be handled. Don't nobody want to handle nothing but unless you're a zoo animal. You don't need to be handled. You gonna have to get a rein on some of that, Millie. I don't feel like you're trying that hard. Would you want somebody that's going to choke you up? Because some of y'all into that. Let me know. Some of y'all, I see you smiling. Some of y'all into that. I can't say I'm not into it, but only during certain times. Okay? Not in the heat of argument. So anyway, Millie says she's going to do a little bit better. They have a nice little connecting moment, and they go to the boom boom room later on. We're going to talk about that later. Yep. Okay, let's get to last up in the hot seat. These two nosy ass auntie and uncles. Baby, I got my Birdman hands going. These two was not ready for what was about to happen. Diamond actually looked like she might have been thinking that something like this was going to happen, but baby, y'all wasn't ready for it quite like this. So this is what ends up happening. They get into the hot seat. One of the first questions is, are you jealous that you're not as young as some of the other couples, or something along those lines? And they both laughed at that. I would have laughed at that too, because I expect people who are younger to look at older people and be calling them old, and I'm old. Like, whenever my sister's friends be like, oh, she old. To them, I'm old. I am. And we not young no more, y'all. We not in our 20s, okay? We not the it generation no more. We not even in our early 30s no more. We ain't it. And it's okay. It's all right. You got to move on. So that's why I wouldn't have been offended by it, because of course they see me as old. Like, I'm their parents' age. Yeah, like, okay, cool. One day we all gonna get here. Like my granny used to say, y'all gonna get old one day. And when I tell you Beatrice was right, because the way my back locked up on me the other day, that's why I ain't never laugh at my granny. And I don't laugh at older people in general, because we all gonna get there. So that wouldn't have bothered me. One of the other questions was, we always hear, Diamond, do you love Aaron? Because we don't ever hear it. And Diamond is just like, I definitely have told you I love you. Do I not say I love you? And he was like, yeah, she says I love you. And Greg was like, oh, well, we always hearing Diamond this and Diamond. First of all, if I had 2 hands available, I would give Greg a hand clap. Because when I tell you he does an excellent Big Aaron. Did y'all see him mimicking Big Aaron? I was cracking up. But he said that we never hear it, so we didn't know. That's why I asked the question. Big Aaron makes a mistake of saying, you want to know why you don't hear Diamond say I love you? It's because she tells me in private. Because she always with me. She not around y'all. Little Aaron, not the big one, raised his hand and said, oh, I got something to say to the people in the hot seat. So what you're saying is you're acknowledging that the couples can say things in private that they don't say publicly to other people, and it can still be real. Oh, okay. And everybody was just like, oh, it was mic drop. Everybody was yelling and carrying on. I would have been doing the same thing. You better do that, little Aaron. So Big Aaron and Diamond are just sitting there like, I know our children did not. Our nieces and nephews have not turned on us like this. They just looking. Here come Diamond. Well, I said, no, Shay first says, I've seen y'all talk about their relationship and kind of antagonize them when it comes to their relationship and things they've done in private. And Diamond, here she comes. Well, at the end of the day, I'm not worried about nobody else's relationship but ours. Oh, why she say that? Why she say that? I'm talking about a collective. Shay been ready to collect. Okay, she been ready for this. Shay is just like, y'all been in everybody's business and y'all too worried about everybody else. Y'all need to be worried about yourself. It's some insults going back and forth between her and Diamond because Diamond called her a little girl and Shay called her old. So they was going back and forth, talk about each other. And Shakanda, whatever her name is, she said, hey. We ain't come out here to trade insults. Okay, everybody, though, is acknowledging y'all wasn't everybody business. Here come Aaron, big Aaron, not the little one, talking about we not going to throw no more fuel to the fire. Oh, yes, the hell we are. We going to throw the fuel. We going to throw the oil. We going to throw everything that we can throw, kerosene, and then we going to light the match. Because that's how we doing it in here today. You're not going to tell me what I'm going to throw. So Shay is still heated. She don't care that everything done got calmed down. She go in the house. Y'all know how it is when you be heated. You call the person that's going to heat you up some more. I call my friend. It's one friend in particular. Actually, it's two. It's two that's going to get fired up with me. So I'm going to call them, right? So she calling, she talking about Big Aaron, saying she heated. They old. They always in our business. They just mad because they not young. Now, Shay, I'm going to need you to get some better comebacks, baby. It ain't just about them being mad because they ain't young. That ain't even the point. That's not why they mad. They probably just older and they think they know everything. That's really it. I don't even think they jealous of the fact that y'all have youth. They've already had youth. Now, maybe they squandered it and they could be jealous. I don't know. They could be. But Diamond don't really strike me as that because she carry herself like, you know, when I see older women who want to be young, they usually like, they dress a certain way. They kind of hang out with the young girls all the time. So they don't carry themselves in a I want to be young energy. Not to me anyway. So anyway, Big Aaron can hear her. And when she get off the phone, she like, Aaron, leave me alone. Don't talk to me. Big Aaron was like, you making me feel real good about myself. You making me feel real good. She talking about how she got the dried up coochie and it's old and it don't get wet. It don't do what hers do. I said, now Shay, I do want you to know that I'm sure, especially by the way Diamond talks, she big too. All that moisture and warmth. I'm sure that coochie pops severely. I wouldn't be speaking on nobody coochie. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. I done heard about some of y'all in y'all late 40s, early 50s. I done heard about y'all women. I done heard about y'all. From homeboys who was ready to give up their whole life. Do you hear me? So, hush, Shay. Hush. And so Big Aaron, of course, got to go tell his master what Shay said. So he go upstairs and he tell Diamond, to which Diamond is all covered up. It must be cold in that house. Everybody always huddled up. Diamond just laugh it off. And so when Shay get back down to the kitchen, Josh is just like, I want you to let it go. I want you to let it go because it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy, but it sure was entertaining, wasn't it?
All right, y'all. The rest of this I'm going to do kind of fast because this review is almost longer than the show. And and I'm at work now. So Diamond's daughter comes to visit and she's hoping that she can get her daughter's approval because if she doesn't, it is going to be a deal breaker for her. Her daughter does end up approving in the end after she talks to Aaron a little bit, lets Aaron know that I don't know if you in love with her or not. It all seems kind of fast, but Big Aaron lets her know it's fast to you, but not fast to me. And I do want to be with your mother. This is when we find out that Aaron has 6 children. I don't think I knew that. And he's been married 2 times. The first time when he was much younger. The second time he was married for 12 years. Not sure why they broke up, but yeah, got a lot of experience on this belt. But the girl ended up saying, as much as I hate to say it, I do approve, which was funny. Next couple, let's keep it going. I want to apologize for what I said about the therapist lady. I don't think she is bad at her job. I really was basing that off like a really short clip that I saw of this episode. I hadn't yet looked at what she said to each couple. So I do take that back. She did give them some good advice. She asked Shay and Josh how they handle conflict. And most of the time, Shay just go off on them, cuss them out, but she's trying to do a little bit better. So they talk about anger and mindfulness and knowing when your body's about to get angry. All very nice, all very good. Good advice. Let's keep it going. Okay, when she goes in to talk to Chris and Sandia and she says, okay, tell me about you. Tell me about who you all are. Before they could even get it out their mouth good, I yelled out, they're Haitian. Because that's always the first thing they say when they talk about themselves, is that they are Haitian. They do get into a little conversation about Chris and how he shuts down when emotions come in. He's not a very emotional person. That tends to be something that he doesn't really like to do. And Sandia says he runs from it, like he shuts down. So we get Chris to open up a little bit more about this 8-year relationship that he was in. Whoever he was with also had a son. So y'all know, child, I bet you he went on them podcasts heavy. She had a child too. I bet you he on the stepdaddy hate train. He probably hate damn Russell Wilson and anyway. So he said that he saw that child as a son, and so when it was over, it really did do a number to him, and he just is not so quick to really open up and let his guards down. But the fact that they're working through it and the fact that Sandia is still here, even after everything that is going on, means a lot to him, which I took as code for I'm whooping her ass and I'm treating her like a doormat and she's still sticking around. So I think this might be the one. Hopefully it goes without saying, when I say whooping her ass, I don't mean physically. I just mean like, mentally, emotionally. I do not mean physically. I find myself having to explain a lot of stuff lately because I don't know what's going on with the public education system, but it failed a lot of us. I am so amazed at how many people do not think critically. Like, if you don't break down every single thing that you're saying, it's like they purposely misunderstand you. But I don't think they purposely misunderstanding you. I genuinely think they're slow. So I have to say, I did not mean physically for anybody who, gonna go there. I gotta say it. You think it go without saying, but child, it was a lot of kids left behind. Later on, she ends up talking to little Aaron and Jodie and asked them how they felt when they first met. And for little Aaron, he says that it was invigorating. Is that what he said? Invigorating. And for Jodie, we don't really get much out of Jodie. She said it was a little cringy. He was trying to impress her, and she doesn't really like that. She likes for things to be organic. And the therapist is just noticing that Jodie's answers are totally different from little Aaron's answers. And little Aaron does admit that he's trying his best to let that wall come down and to be expressive towards Jodie, but it's just not. It's not happening. And even the therapist noticed, you seem very excited and interested on your end. On your end, I'm not really sure what we're getting. Where do you see this relationship going? Do you see this going anywhere? And Jodie isn't really giving the therapist a straightforward answer. So the therapist is just like, hold on, wait a minute now. I'm going to ask you to leave, little Aaron. And that's when I really liked her. And Jodie was like, oh my gosh, I'm the problem. You are the problem, girl. And so that's when she asked Jodie just straight up, do you see this headed anywhere? It doesn't seem like you're interested in him. How are you really feeling about this relationship? And I guess we'll see more of this next week, but I just think Jodie is no longer interested and she needs to say it. I don't know if she doesn't want to hurt little Aaron's feelings, but he already knows what's up. I'm not even really sure what's up with him, if he just wants to keep trying or what, but I think he does know. Y'all don't think he know? But anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I'm sure I left something out. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.